you will be a probable victim of gender violence. It's an amazing figure. And, but we have sad news because the figure is growing and growing. In 2012, the 10% of the female population report that they are victims of gender violence. One in every 10, 10 in every 100 are victims of gender violence. And also here you have, I will give you my presentation if you want to check these numbers. But in the last year, in 2006, the 2% of the population reported that was victim of gender violence. And the figure is worse in 2011, the 3%. So when we started the research, we have these numbers in front of us in relation to the global population. But also, thanks to the macro encuesta, to the macro survey, we knew that the figures in the immigrant population double the figures in the Spanish population. So, for us, it was amazing that nobody did nothing at that time in relation to this problem. If there were not women, and if there were not immigrant women, probably we had some revolts in our society. But, you know, they were women, and specifically they were immigrant women, so who cares? But it's amazing, the 12% of the immigrant women, and in the last macro survey, the 20% of the immigrant women report that at least once in her life they have been victims of gender violence. Here you have another data in relation to allegations. The 76% of the allegations come from Spanish women, but the 24% and the population, the immigrant population is the 10%, come from immigrant women. So immigrant women goes to the police more to make an allegation or to the courts more than the Spanish women. But it is also true that they remove these allegations more than the Spanish women. And also the figures are worse for the immigrant women in relation to the murders. The 30% of the women killed by their partners were immigrants. And we are very careful with this, and I will say you something about this in my next slides. Also, the immigrant offenders are more representative than the Spanish offenders. And this figure made us to be very careful with this research, because we didn't give a bad impression of the immigrant population thanks to our research. You know, the press always use this data to give a negative image of the immigrant population, especially some kind of press. Well, here we have another figures. There is the evolution of the murders from 2003 to till 2009. But okay, I want to also say something about what were our assumptions when we begin the research. As I said before, we wanted to avoid further stigmatizing the immigrant population. And our idea was the causes of gender violence are the same for Spanish women than are for immigrant women. And these causes are in relation to power relations in a patriarchal society. We use a concept of culture that was evolving and heterogeneous. We don't think in culture as a fixed reality. But what we wanted to do was to give voice to the actual protagonist of this research, the immigrant women. And we were worried about how to combine intercultural and feminist perspectives. And I have to say that this is not easy. And what do we want you to know? Well, I have to say that we do a research with the immigrant women, but also we do another research with the professionals. Today I only will focus on the research with the immigrant women. We wanted to know the immigrant women perception and understanding of gender roles, equality between women and men, gender violence concept, their concept of gender violence, of violence against women, and the way they think about the causes of gender violence and the factors that make that a high percentage of women can't avoid the violence situations they live. And we also wanted to know the perception and understanding of the existing resources and solutions to combat gender violence. And what did we do? Well, we plan and we facilitate 20 focus groups. Do you know what focus groups are? In Spanish is grupos de discusión. But when you translate the term into English, you don't translate as discussion groups. In the literature, you always find the term focus groups. Well, it's a kind of conversation with a group of people that represent a sector of the population. And it is a free conversation linked to specific topics you want to research. What to succeed? People live in the room. Okay, we did 20 focus groups in which 148 women participate. 2 groups were with Spanish women in order to compare our results, and 18 were with immigrant women. Groups were composed attending to the next variables. The time the women have been in Spain, the origin, Latina and women from the north of Africa, from the Maghreb,